flip the corner on turn 9, turn 10. But I feel like it'd be so much easier if you just had options to keep extending. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And by extending, I mean, like, honestly, just ending. Like, if you can go Bahamut into Saha Israfil, you're probably winning that game in 1 or 2 turns against another slow deck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or you're playing a Bahamut after a Bahamut if they try to, like, stall you or stop you.
Ooh, the raging fires of the mountain. Do you know what craft is associated with this map? Is it dragon?
I would say Dragoncraft?
I think it's Dragoncraft.
I don't know what else would have lava associated with it.
Do dragons live in volcanoes and stuff like that?
Well, it depends on what storybooks you read. So sometimes they live on top of their own hoarded treasure in a place of their choosing, whether that be a castle, a mountain,
a
cave, underwater, whatever it might be. And in some, they only live in mountains or volcanoes, you know, volcano-like things, you know?
Aren't there forest-dwelling dragons as well?
I mean, there could be, if you wrote that book. Dragons can exist anywhere you want them to because they're not real.
I heard a theory that dragons were the made-up terror of humanity and fabricated, like, mythical monster that was scary because they, like, do things that humans can't. Like, they have the ability to fly. They are kind of... They can, you know, chase people on all fours. They're kind of like tigers, you know? Like, people were scared of, like, tigers and jaguars and stuff like that.
So, like, just the amalgamation
like
of all the things
tigers,
that we couldn't do to scare us.
Flying tigers that breathe fire. Like, fire was another thing of, like, oh, that's our one thing against animals, but now the animals have that.
Yeah, and it's bigger and badder.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, where dragons came from, I mean, who knows, right? I mean, like, dragons have been in stories since the beginning of stories.
Yeah, Dragoncraft has been around in Shadowverse for what feels like since the beginning, but that's not the case, actually.
It's not.
It's not the case. Dragoncraft used to be mediocre to not very good.
Mediocre. Yep.
And then Sybil came along.
Yeah, Sybil came along, Israfil came along. Yeah, Tilting at Windmills came along. Grimnir was a really big case for it at one point before Grimnir got adjusted.
Grimnir. And the dragons were happy again. That's my story.
Yeah, I love dragons. Dragons are like my favorite mythical thing to like read about and like enjoy. Like I've got a lot of dragon stuff at home. Pictures, miniatures, sculptures. I've got an incense burner that's really big that breathes smoke, you know, like the incense out of his mouth. Like
that's
I like dragons.
Oh my god. Classic Man just got faced.
Setting up a big board here. Doesn't have an Ektar to follow it up, but he has plenty of turns to get there.
His hand is clunky.
Yeah, Classic Man does not have a lot of options here at all.
Talk about dragons. Double Canyon of Dragons.
Yeah.
And double
Two
Israfil.
Israfils. Has Niella to ramp. That can get him to 7 next turn, so he can play his Canyon, but looking at this board...
I don't think he can afford to.
Pretty rough.
He needs to get up to that play point and hope that he draws it to Israfil. That's what he needs. But then again, on Sheepy's side, that's basically... I mean, he has the Andrew Alphys installed, so he's going to cycle cards quite a bit here.
I think you actually do play the Scyther here, so it does open you more up to being able to play that Canyon of the Dragons on 7.
Yeah, I would agree. I think this is one of the cases where you play Scyther in anticipation of utilizing it to remove on the next turn.
Now, it is kind of a tell to your opponent, knowing that you are probably going to want to tap out on turn 7. What that means, they don't know. But he does have the option. I mean, with 2 Israfils in hand, Tilting at Windmills is also not a bad option to play out next turn. However, then you have a skip turn, which never feels good, especially when you feel like you're behind.
Yeah. And you're only hitting turn 8, right? So you can't even play out that Israfil. The skip turn seems like it's a lot of pressure. The Odile added on top of that, too, makes this very tough. And another Andrew Alphys. Wow. Wow.
Soul Squasher finding value this game.
Sheepy has a... I think he's so comfortable right now.
Look at this Lyriel. Look at this Lyriel.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
And this is... deal with the Bane after all.
Yeah, this is the perfect read. Like I said, it's, you know, I want to play this Scyther because I think I'm going to tap out on turn 7. And honestly, that's the only option that Classic Man has. Okay.
4, 6, 8, 8, 9, 10, 12 with the Evolve.
Yeah, I feel like he's got a fervor. I don't think that any of these 7 drops is an option.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad he drew an option outside of these 7 drops because now he can do something.
Yeah.
And then he can ramp into the Israfils. And then he has 1 evolution orb left to try to deal with a board.
I think he needs to evolve this turn. Unless he gets some kind of spell removal, and then you're barely surviving, I feel like. If you remove the 4/1 Luriel, you get 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage still.
Well, he has no way to do that yet.
Yep, I think it's over. Very close to it. Very, very close to it.
Not over. Not over. He's 2 damage shy.
If he, yeah. I think 2 damage shy is really tough.
I mean, it's not good.
will heal him.
It's not good.
Yeah. The Odal will be able to do the 2, so he needs to heal the next turn. But he has the opportunity to play the Israfil with Evolve.
That's literally his only line of play with this game. I mean, he's got gummed up with too many expensive drops in the early game.
I actually think that Sheepy should probably find a way to swing these guys, and then he has no way to actually unlock the board. But I guess it doesn't matter here.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, two followers at 3 defense or higher. It's probably going to close it.
I mean, he
2
gets
damage,
to keep
4
1
damage, 4, 6. No, he'll be left with 6.
Yeah, he's still alive. He's not going to lose after the Israfil play. I mean, technically, Classic Man could try for... No, there is no technically. He can't Fervor here. Fervor doesn't find anything that can deal with his board. He has to Israfil.
Yeah.
He could play Tilting at Windmills and then concede.
Not a good turn. Not a good turn. I mean, this is Mid Shadow showing off how effective it's been today.
Yep. And I feel like an Ektar is right off the top here.
Oh man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No Ektar. So you got 5 damage. Not quite lethal.
Can swing the skeleton in and then use something like a Necro Assassin even. Necro Assassin, and then you can even put a Lurching Corpse down, which will stop both a Bahamut and a Zeus and an Israfil. So I think that's a very strong choice.
Yep. Yeah, I like that play. Pop that down. Necro Assassin, Lurching Corpse, attack for 2. And then, yeah, the only option right now is a Zeus in hand Classic Man.
Okay. Well, things are wrapping up quite quickly for Sheepy.
He's got a Goblin too. Might as well play it. Let's go. Goblin's good enough. As long as Goblin can hit, that's still a lethal attack.
Yeah. That's if you go to the Zeus line. If you put that on the Goblin, you basically lock your opponent into using Israfil.
Okay, Andreolphus instead, which means that Zeus is going to have an even easier time controlling this board.
Interesting. Huh. Trying to make sense of that.
Yeah, I don't know why not the Lurching Corpse. It's not like he has anything to sacrifice it in hand to combo with anyway. Is there any way that he can get out of this if he fervors? If he fervors the 6, he's at exactly lethal range. He can fervor again and survive. So he can fervor, survive. He can fervor, Sybil, survive. He can play Israfil, and that will lose him the game. He can play Zeus and be just fine, but he doesn't know that.
Yeah. I think maybe hope that the Zeus buys you enough time to Fervor or Israfil.
I think that's the safest play. I mean, if you go Fervor, you have to... Well, I guess you have the other Fervor, but then you just lose over the course of 2 turns. Doesn't have a Bahamut. He could draw into a Bahamut after he goes Fervor.
Yeah, that's tough.
But Prince Catacomb's going to shut that plan down. Yeah, I think it's just Zeus.
Yep.
I think it's just Zeus and go face.
Yep. Yep, I think he has to. He has to. Classic Man is back to the wall. Mid Shadow has been putting on so much pressure today.
I mean, Prince Catacomb's still a really good card, so is Andriolphus. All these cards are great.
I really do think it's relating back to your comment about kind of the Dread Sea, right? If you have Dread Sea and you know that once you hit 10 you can close things out, you can approach the game very differently.
Very differently. You can be like, I can go to 1. It's fine, because I know I can kill you the following turn. You can take a lot of liberties with your deck.
Finding more cards to draw.
I really
trying to find the right option.
don't like the Zeus not going face there, honestly, because they're still lethal anyway if they can deal with it. And if you do not try to end the game faster, you will eventually lose. You're at 3. You can't really afford to waste the 5 damage from the Zeus.
Interesting. I think the Zeus is here to stay.
It is, but it could have gotten an extra 5 damage in the time it was alive.
Yeah. If the Zeus stays, I have to be scared. No, you don't have to be scared of Aisha. Do you tilting on the next turn?
I think you have to. It's the only way to finally get the rest of your spells out. You can Canyon of the Dragons if you feel like that will give you more advantage over a few turns. I mean, there is only an Israfil in the hand right now to use with the tilting.
Tilting, but then there might be some good turns you can put together by fervoring and then playing things that have Storm.
You do have Singer that you can play alongside of tilting to draw some cards. The corpse makes it scary.
Yeah, but once tilting comes down, the corpse becomes slightly irrelevant.
Well,
Oh,
I mean,
gosh.
right now it's it's pressuring Zeus, which is
Yeah.
the relevant part of it. Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's not good enough.
I think he needs to fervor.
Let's see if he Israfils. Actually,
If he Israfils, he can't swing, right?
no, if he Israfils, he should swing. That's the whole
Well,
thing.
his followers the followers plus the zombie party, I think that's okay. Well, he would be at 7 if he Israfils.
I think it would survive. So, had he attacked last turn face with Zeus, opponent would be at 13. This turn he could knock him down to 8. Play an Israfil, and that would be a lethal setup for the following turn. Granted, they both didn't get taken care of. I think not attacking with the Zeus took him out of winning this game. The very first turn. I don't think he can actually deal enough damage in time before this end game shows up for Sheepy.
Yeah.
Like, he had a chance, and not attacking face blew it.
I think you can get rid of as many last words as you can here.
I still think you have to go face. If you don't go face, you cannot win this game.
Yeah, he needs to go face with the Zeus, but he needs a Blazing Breath something.
Yeah.
At least he should. Okay.
It doesn't really remove a damage off the board.
Yeah. Does get rid of the last word, which might make your future life easier. Also gives you another card space so that you can draw something next turn.
That is true. Oh, right. He's going to overdraw. Ouch. Which might overdraw something very important like a Sockwell.
Oh my god, no!
And it does. It overdraws the Sockwell.
Oh my god.
Wow.
2 no's in a row.
Wow.
Ugh.
These small plays, you know what? It could be that Classic Man's freezing up at the end of this. You know, he's getting really nervous.
No. Well, Sheepy has been in this scenario quite a few times.
He has, and he plays slow and methodical, takes his time, doesn't let the nerves get to him.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, think about the context of this game, right? You've gotten your opponent to 8 by this point. Now you have this other Zeus.
Okay.
And you can get your opponent down to 3. And then you have Scyther and possibly another Scyther, things like that. That's not quite lethal.
Yeah. He needs to... He could have done it 2 ways. But he's going to swing the 3 followers, then have the Odile remain. But again, all your last word effects are gone? Is there any... Oh, he has the Aisha waiting in the wings here.
I think that Saha Quill burned him so badly. If he had Saha Quill, he could have played that this turn and set up another stop. But I guess you're right. The Aisha makes that play irrelevant anyway.
So you have to Zeus again.
And Zeus isn't good enough either.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, Zeus is perfectly not good.
And that'll do it. So Classic Man will take this first game as a loss.
And Sheepy, off the back of Aisha, will close it out.
Wow. Now, I'm not saying that Classic Man had a good shot at winning this game with the context of his hand. But I feel like if you guys don't understand the difference between winning and not losing, you're not going to win games that you could. And if you see the way that game played out, not attacking with the Zeus that first time basically shut the door on any way to actually win that game. It's these small things that you have to consider, like attacking the follower that's already going to be attacking the Zeus to kill it anyway doesn't give you a benefit. So,
yeah. Well, it's the small things. It's the very, very small things. And those are very subtle, right? Especially when you're in the game and you don't have perfect information. Sometimes it's very hard to come to those decisions.
Yeah.
That's why they're tournament winners. That's why there are some people who can't quite make it. Or very good.
I mean, you get right up to the edge, right? And then you're just like... But Classic Man, I believe, is going to be in it anyway. So realistically, as long as he can shore that stuff up before he gets to the regional finals, he'll be just fine. And he's got weeks to prepare. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah.
And that's not even to say it's nerves. Maybe he thought that was the correct play. And I'm not saying it's necessarily always wrong in a vacuum, you know, to attack the follower. But I've got to say, from the context of the game, these are the things that you've got to be thinking about.
Time for me to prove myself. Bow before Dark Dragoon, ruler of the skies.
Right, now we get to see Neutral Forest up against Sheepy's version of Dragoncraft.
Okay. Neutral Forest is going to be the choice.
And so far as I know, very hard for Neutral Forest to really pull together a win against the Dragoncraft matchup. Its plays are not as significant as the Dragoncraft players, and they do not happen as fast.
I do feel like against the traditional lineup, if the Dragoncraft player ends up playing card for card against the Forestcraft deck, it does end up actually being quite difficult. I mean,
it can. I feel like tilting at windmills very much skews the favor, though. Like, you're right, because the Forest deck has a lot more cards in it, like a lot more like active cards, whereas the Dragoncraft deck has ramp and it has burn spells and it has all this other stuff.
But for example, Sheepy here hitting the Oracle, having the Fervor ready to go, I think already is already looking pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think the scenario where Neutral Forest stands toe-to-toe in some capacity against Dragoncraft does have that edge because it hits something powerful a little quicker, but that's very situational based on both the Dragoncraft's draw and your own.
All right, Sheepy getting curved on, but I don't think he cares too much. Got another Oracle as well. Doesn't even care.
Yeah, he can use that at a later turn. 5, 6. Well, it does. Yeah. So next turn, if he Fervors, he's gonna get the tilting. If he Oracles, he can play something and still be at the tilting.
Pure-Hearted Singer, man. What a card. What a card. So unassuming. Turns out just in every possible deck.
Very, very good. The only times are, in the situation, I think Vengeance Blood, Aggro Blood, Neutral Blood, these are the cards that actually test the effectiveness of Pure-Hearted Singer. Outside of that, I feel like for mid-range, for control, even for combo decks, Pure-Hearted Singer is just so much better.
The funny thing is like it doesn't do a lot as far as tempo is concerned. It doesn't put up a big threat on the board and things like that. And I feel like you can punish this very easily, but none of these decks are trying to do that. I think they're all just on the Pure-Hearted Singer plan, and they're all just accepting of the fact that you don't gain that tempo from it.
Yeah.
And Sheepy is playing Queen of the Dread Sea tilting, so he is going to amass damage quite quickly here.
Yeah. It's all about finding time to play out this tilting.
Next turn.
And then and then just drawing cards and chipping away, landing on a Dreadsea.
Did you like it?
I would just play the tilting.
Yeah, you just jam it. There's literally no reason not to. Against, especially against a Forestcraft deck, it's not like you're worried about this one swing.
It's a turn before, so the only danger is that the ward might protect the Beauty and the Beast.
That's
But-
true. I guess very specifically, if they have the Beauty and the Beast here, it can get scary to play the tilting, but nah, I'm not afraid. Looks like Sheepy is, though.
I could see this if you had something like an Israfil. You could play the Israfil, storm past the Hector ward, and then, or rather the Sahak wheel, storm past the Hector, and then Israfil into the Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
But
this
even
works
then,
too.
you would need to evolve the Israfil because Beast has 10, and then 2 doesn't affect it.
I like this because Hamsa can also clear out a Beauty and the Beast with the tilting. And again, Sheepy rocking the Hamsa, so Hamsa showing up in more of the tilting decks.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really nice option to allow you to play the card. Hamsa is no mere duck.
No mere duck. You know Hamsa is in the Cygames anime.
Is he?
Yeah. in
What is
both
he doing
seasons of
there?
it. Hamsa chills out with Bacchus,
Who?
the god of wine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That Bacchus.
Yeah.
Yeah. The big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know. I don't know exactly. Okay, you're at 10. Now is when you play tilting.
Yeah, it's game time.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty easy board to deal with, too. You can actually play tilting and clear this entire board if you want to. And you've got a whole heap of damage in hand. Just with Israfil and Queen of the Dreadsea, we're looking at 17 plus Evo's 19 damage.
Well.
See? He knows he's no mere duck.
Yeah.
Which means that this Hamsa face is pretty good. Oh. All right. Oh, he's got the Scyther. Okay, so he's got 21 damage anyway.
Yeah, he's planning the Dreadsea Scyther Israfil.
Now, Classic Man is playing a King Elephant. We saw that earlier today, but he's only playing a singular King Elephant, no White Wolves. Not really sure about the inclusion of that card as just a 10 play point, but it is a finisher. I mean, it can get through wards by itself. So it's
The
not
9
completely
damage push
useless.
at the end. But the big question you have to ask is, can you get 11 damage?
Can you keep that many cards in your hand? The reason why White Wolf is so needed, I feel like, with that card is because it draws you that extra card. It doesn't...
Draws you the extra card, lets you Elephant a little earlier. A lot of things really help it.
Yep, and this is what I was talking about, guys, with the power of tilting at windmills. Why are you not playing Queen of the Dreadsea? Do it. This is game over.
Not gonna help me.
Yeah, oinky oinky, not gonna help you. No ward here means the game is over. Tilting, 10 play points, Queen of the Dreadsea.
Just make sure you swing. Oh, actually, the Israfil swings first, so he'll heal 2. I think he probably should have pre-evolved. That might save him.
I think you can. I think you
7,
can wait on the Israfil until the last
9.
attack.
But will the 2 damage kill it, or will the Israfil swing kill?
I think the 2 damage kills before you gain.
So, hold on. So 7, 9, 11. No, the Israfil needs to actually swing. The 2 damage will take away the pigs will heal, and then Israfil will hit.
Oh, that's right, because the 2 damage happens first. Never mind.
Yeah. So
he can only deal 21, not 22. You're right. So the 2 pigs actually saved him from lethal this turn.
But you can just play the Israfil
So
on
you
this
said
turn.
oinky oinky not going to help you. You were wrong.
Yeah, I was
They
wrong.
do help you.
I mean, if you play Israfil this turn, and then you do the same thing the next turn, right? And now the piggies are bacon.
Right.
And,
I mean, I don't think that Classic Man is winning this game, but he's not losing this turn.
Yeah. Oh, man, this is so good. Yeah, see, it heals the...
Yeah, for some reason I was thinking the 2 damage happened after the damage from Israel happened. That's not how that works.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not what happens.
Yeah. Okay. Well, show us your next fantastic play.
I mean, it's got to be a Jungle Warden, right? You have to play a ward, but it's not going
it's
to
got
meta.
ETA. Good removal.
Sick. ETA against tilting. All right.
Elf Twin Assault.
That's another reason why I think tilting's great. It gets around removal, which is crazy.
Yeah.
You have to play Amulet Removal if you want to beat this deck.
Elf Twins Assault.
You would think that you could assault a windmill. Or wait, I guess it's not a windmill. It's tilting at windmills.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know what it means.
What does that mean?
Is it a storybook? Is it something? I mean, it's part of Wonderland Dreams, right? So it's like fairy tale, fantasy-esque.
Yeah, is it like a part of the Don Quixote like universe? Like there's windmills in that story. I don't know what you would tilt at them for though. It sounds like a Don Quixote thing because he saw very weird visions of maybe tilting windmills.
Yeah.
It could be tilting
Maybe.
windmills.
Yeah.
But tilting at windmills is kind of a weird turn of phrase. I'm not sure what that means.
I think you can do something like Salamander and then Uriel.
No,
Oh wow,
no,
he's
he's
just
gonna win the game. Yeah, you can
Does
play
this
the
win game?
Scyther.
Oh yeah, he's at 12. I
Yeah.
thought he was still at 20.
Yep, that'll be the game, and Sheepy is gonna go on to the finals here and knock
Yeah.
Classic Man down.
Here it comes. There it goes. Tilting at windmills. There's no rhyme. Okay. Sheepy wins 2-0. Grand finals he goes on the loser's side. And now he needs to fight Ludi Brolo.
That's right. And if Sheepy wants to win, he's got to beat Ludibrolo twice.
Yep.
2 sets.
2 matches.
That's right.
I like Sheepy's lists. I think the Daria list, as we saw, is slow.
I still think it's shaky.
But I like his shadow, of course, and I like